DJI just dropped a thermal drone upgrade with zero fanfare. No press release, no launch event, just quietly slipped it into enterprise dealer catalogs like it's no big deal. Except it is a big deal, especially if you do search and rescue, inspections, or public safety work. Meet the Mavic 3 Thermal Advanced, the 3TA. It's the thermal upgrade to the Mavic 3T that DJI didn't want to make a fuss about. And I think I know why. Because when you upgrade the thermal sensor and lens without raising the price much, you basically tell everyone who bought the 3T in the last 6 months, yeah, you probably should have waited. But here's what matters for you. This isn't just a spec bump. It's a real-world capability jump that changes how far you can spot targets, how clearly you can see temperature differences, and how much time you save on inspections. And if you're trying to decide between the 3T and the 3TA, or you're wondering if this upgrade is worth it, I'm about to break down exactly what changed, who needs it, and whether you should pull the trigger before stock gets weird. Let's cut through the marketing speak and talk about what actually changed. 2 things, both thermal related. Upgrade number 1, smaller pixel pitch equals sharper thermal detail. The Mavic 3T has a 12 micrometer pixel pitch on its uncooled VOX thermal sensor. The 3TA drops that to 8 micrometers. Translation, smaller pixels can capture finer temperature variations. You get more precise thermal discrimination, meaning you can spot smaller temperature differences more clearly at the same distance. Think about a roof inspection. With the 3T, a moisture intrusion might show as a vague warm blob. With the 3TA's tighter pixel pitch, that same spot shows up with clearer boundaries and more defined gradients. Same roof, same distance, sharper data. Upgrade number 2, longer thermal reach. The thermal lens got a focal length bump. The 3T has a 40mm equivalent lens with about a 61-degree field of view. The 3TA jumps to 60mm equivalent with a 41-degree field of view. Narrower field of view, more reach. Your subject feels more of the frame from farther away. For search and rescue, that means you can ID a heat signature sooner without flying as close. For utility inspections, you can spot a hot transformer component from a safer standoff distance. Less repositioning, fewer flight legs, same mission, done faster. And here's the kicker. The resolution stays at 640 by 512. So you're not just zooming in digitally and losing quality, you're getting real optical reach with better per pixel thermal accuracy. Before you panic buy, let's talk about what's the same, because that matters too. It's still the Mavic 3 Enterprise airframe. Up to 45 minutes flight time on paper. Realistically, you're looking at 30 to 35 with payloads and wind. Same omnidirectional obstacle sensing, same RTK-ready capability for centimeter level positioning. Same dual visible cameras, 48 megapixel wide and 12 megapixel tele with up to 56 times hybrid zoom. Translation. If you're already running Mavic 3 Enterprise or Mavic 3T, your batteries work. Your workflows don't change. Your pilot training transfers over. You're upgrading the thermal capability, not relearning an entire platform. That's huge for agencies and contractors who've already invested in training and infrastructure. Okay, let's get practical. Who needs this upgrade, and what does it actually do for you in the field? Search and rescue. You're scanning a field or wooded area for a missing person. With the 3T's wider field of view, you cover more ground per pass, but distant targets show up small. With the 3TA's 60mm equivalent and tighter pixel pitch, that same heat signature shows up bigger and clearer from the same altitude. Translation. You spot them sooner. You waste fewer pixels on background noise. You call in ground teams faster. In Saudi Arabian Riyal, minutes matter. This upgrade saves minutes. Roof and building inspections. You're looking for moisture intrusion, insulation failures, or HVAC leaks. The 3T can find obvious problems, but subtle thermal gradients, early stage moisture that hasn't fully compromised the structure yet, that's where the 8 micrometer pitch shines. You're catching problems earlier, with clearer thermal boundaries, which means better data for your clients, and fewer callbacks because you missed something subtle. Utility and infrastructure. Power lines, substations, solar farms, anything where you need to spot electrical hotspots or mechanical failures from a safe distance. The 60mm equivalent thermal lens puts small components into usable frame size without pushing your drone into unsafe proximity. Less maneuvering around high voltage equipment means less risk and faster surveys. Public safety and emergency response. Vehicle searches, brush fires, perimeter sweeps. The 3TA keeps that out of the case and airborne in 3 minutes. Mavic form factor, but now you've got mid-distance thermal clarity that used to require bigger, more expensive platforms. For departments already invested in the Mavic ecosystem, this is the thermal upgrade that doesn't blow up your budget or training timeline. 3T versus 3TA, which should you buy? Scenario 1, you already own the 3T. If your missions are mostly close-in thermal work, building interiors, near-range SAR, tight inspection environments, you're probably fine. The 3T's wider field of view is still an advantage for scene overview and close quarters. Don't stress, you're not suddenly obsolete. Scenario 2, you need distance thermal performance. If you're regularly flying SAR grids, utility line inspections, large roof surveys, or anything where you're trying to ID small targets from altitude, the 3TA is the better tool, period. That 8 micrometer pitch plus 60mm equivalent combo is the reason this model exists. It squeezes more actionable data out of the ranges you actually operate at. Scenario 3, you're building a fleet right now. If you're a public safety agency or contractor speccing out a new thermal program, start with the 3TA. You're future-proofing your thermal payload without changing your training infrastructure or battery ecosystem. One catch, availability is weird. This was a quiet launch. No big press event, just enterprise dealer listings trickling out. Stock is moving in waves. If you find one in stock at a good dealer, don't assume it'll be there next week. So, why did DJI launch this with zero fanfare? My guess? They didn't want to piss off everyone who just bought a 3T, and they probably want to move existing 3T inventory before flooding the market with 3TA stock. This isn't on the consumer DJI site. It's buried in enterprise documentation and showing up at specialized resellers. If you're not watching enterprise channels, you'd have no idea it exists, which means a lot of pilots are buying the 3T right now without knowing the 3TA is even an option. Don't be that person. Your buying strategy, buy now if. Your missions depend on detail at distance. Time saved equals money or lives. You're already in the Mavic ecosystem and want the best thermal. Wait if. You're happy with the 3T and don't feel range limited. You want to see bundle deals or agency pricing programs. Your budget cycle doesn't open till Q1 2026. Hedge your bets if policy volatility in your state has you worried about DJI access. You need operational redundancy for mission-critical work. And look, if you watched my videos on the federal court ruling or the Ohio bills, you know the DJI landscape is getting complicated. If you're building a business or public program, having a second ecosystem, Skydio, Parrot, whatever gets approved, isn't paranoia. It's smart risk management. Standardize your training on a backup platform, so you're not grounded by vendor politics or supply chain chaos. And speaking of building a business, if you're looking to start or scale a drone operation, especially with all this equipment uncertainty, I've got a resource for you. I put together a complete drone business launch kit. It's everything you need to go from zero to revenue ready in 30 days. Part 1, 07 Prep Roadmap. Business structure templates. Client outreach scripts that actually work. Pricing calculators. Contract templates for both public and private clients. Equipment buying guides, including DJI alternatives. Links in the description. If you want to be the pilot agencies and contractors call when they need thermal capabilities, or when their old equipment gets banned, this kit gets you there fast. Now, here's what I want to do next. I want to put the 3T and the 3TA head-to-head in real conditions. Mock SAR grid, roof moisture detection, maybe a utility thermal survey. Same conditions, same pilot, back-to-back flights. Show you exactly what that 8 micrometer pitch and 60 millimeter lens upgrade looks like in actual thermal data. If you want to see that comparison test, drop thermal test in the comments. If I get enough requests, that's my next video. Bottom line, the Mavic 3 Thermal Advanced isn't just a refresh. It's a legitimate capability upgrade that changes how effective you are at distance thermal work. DJI buried the launch because they didn't want to cannibalize 3T sales. But if you're speccing gear right now for SAR, inspections, public safety, whatever, you deserve to know this option exists. So here's what I need you to do. If this video just saved you from buying the wrong thermal drone, smash that like button. Subscribe and hit notifications so you don't miss the head-to-head thermal test or my updates on DJI policy news. And drop a comment. Are you running the 3T? Are you upgrading to the 3TA? Or are you hedging with a totally different platform? I want to hear your strategy. And if you're ready to build or scale your drone business while everyone else is still figuring out their equipment, grab that drone business launch kit in the description. Fly smart, fly safe, and fly with the right gear.